Welcome back to the FATT Show. I'm Dee.
I'm Kevin.
And we are in the middle of discussing the Oregon State Beavers and their recruiting class of 2017. And it's a pretty good recruiting class. We talked about that. It's the best one rated since 2013.
Yes.
40s, somewhere in there, 42, 47.
They're overall ranked 40s in national ranking, but as far as the conference, they're in the middle, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Right there in the middle. And, you know, in our last segment, we talked about how they've made improvements steadily over the last couple of years under Coach Gary Anderson.
His third year.
2 wins the first year, 4 wins the last year, with their crowning achievement of beating the Ducks in the Civil War.
Right.
And looking forward to the future, Kevin, where we're anticipating them to be in a bowl game this next year.
Very much
Maybe
so.
6-6, 7-5, somewhere in there. They have a tough schedule, obviously. But, you know, we want to talk about these kids that they're bringing in, mostly 3-star athletes rated. And again, we talked about that, how it's not really an exact science with rating these kids that are coming over. Got 1 4-star, and we'll talk about him first. He was an early commit, Isaiah Hodgins. He was he committed in December.
Right. I remember that.
An early enrollee, so he's in classes as far as we know,
Got
even
himself
right
set.
now.
Yeah.
Already set for his college education, which of course we've talked about that being the most important focus
Very
of
much so.
a young man going into college. And of course, people want to, you know, these kids, they want to be in the NFL, but only 1.6% or so make it.
Right.
And even then, only about 3.5 years lifespan for most of them. So you got to have something to fall back on. And you know, this is really important. And this kid, Isaiah Hodgins, and he is a wide receiver, 6 foot 3.5 inches, somewhere there. So he's got some height on him. 194 pounds, almost 200 pounds there. So he is a wide receiver out of Berean Christian, Walnut Creek, California.
Right.
So 4 stars. Their highest ranked individual that they've recruited this year. So what is your take on this guy?
I mean, you pull him out of California, which is good. And I think with that, there had to have been something that they saw in this player. Not only for him to commit early, I think that means a lot when you find a commit of a 4-star nature and then wanting to early enroll into your school. I think that says a lot because you start seeing a little bit of that wave of some of these players doing that, these ones that come out of high school. But I think it's something that, again, the height and the weight, that's something that you can really play with as a strength and conditioning coach, position coach, especially if it's a wide receiver, and really having them do that on the offense. That's something, again, Oregon State is really wanting to replenish. They want to replenish that speed.
You know, it could very well be that this kid starts from day one. I mean, he's... you're looking at some speed there, some height, which is great, and a skill set that is, you know, to me, I think will be both. It would work well for the Oregon State Beavers.
Right.
So we're excited for the Beavers and for Isaiah, 4-star, and I do think that he's going to have a chance to start right away.
And we look at the history of Oregon State and the receivers they've had. Hushmanzada.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've had a lot of a plethora of these receivers, good hands.
Chad Johnson.
I mean, so it's something that, again, you have Victor Bolden that's there right now. So there are these players that have the speed, and really when you look at wide receiver, to catch that kind of talent is, I think, very important.
Yeah, so another recruit that I found interesting. This kid is a 6'7", 300-pound offensive tackle, Justin Saddlemeyer. This kid's from Pioneer College in San Marcos, California. Another California kid, and 6'7" offensive line. I mean,
that's tall. That's big. In high school,
you know, and they're saying he's got some technique things to work on, maybe some footwork issues.
A lot of it's footwork when you're that height and weight. It's that footwork.
Yeah, and staying on, you got to be balanced, so when you're that tall, there could be issues with, staying on your feet and not getting rocked backwards one way or another. You're protecting the quarterback.
Sure.
This is your big job when you're an offensive tackle. And maybe secondary is kind of blowing the holes open for the running back.
I think also, too, when you're talking about the height and weight, it's hip level. A lot of times, you play on the offensive line, you have an assignment. You're either pulling, depending on what part of that position you're playing on the offensive line. If you're a pulling guard, pulling right guard or left guard, depending on the scheme that you're running, it's going to be interesting to see on how how Justin's going to be able to adapt his body type. And you're talking about, it's almost like this situation of like a fawn to a deer, right? That they're big and they're tall, but they just don't know how to use their feet yet, and I think that takes time.
And it does. And so I don't know if Justin's going to be starting from day one. I mean, you've got already a good stable of offensive linemen. So it could be that he is coming in as a backup at least this first year. But I like the height. You can't teach that. 6'7". Mm-hmm. I mean, that is really. I mean, you're looking at just a specimen of a guy.
Well, I'll tell you, Beaver fans, the thing about it is, I tell you, their strength and conditioning coach has got to be salivating. So.
Right. Yeah. So you got some work to do here with Justin, but good height, good weight, should be able to contribute at some point. Another guy that we want to talk about, Colby Taylor. This is a kid out of Chandler, Arizona. He is a wide receiver, another wide receiver, 5'11", so not quite as tall as Isaiah Hodgins, 186. We saw a little bit of his tape. He's got good moves.
He's quick on his feet.
Yeah, and so you got a couple of good wide receivers here.
Do you see what kind of recipe that's Coach Anderson is beginning to spell here?
Exactly, and we talked also, moving on to Jake Luton. We want to mention him again because we did a little bit in the last segment. He is a quarterback, a pro-style quarterback out of Ventura, California, Ventura College, 6'6", 220. Now this is a quarterback that probably won't start day one. You've got at least two quarterbacks that are already seasoned, McMarion.
Seth Collins.
Yeah, you've got a couple that are in there that...
Connor Blount.
Yeah, yep. So, but give it a year or two and this kid could make a difference because, again, you cannot teach the height. 6'6", 220 pounds, should be a durable quarterback in the future for the Beavers.
Well, let me tell you, what's interesting about this is that, you look at it from a perspective of coaching. When the quarterback's coach looks at what he's got in the stable as far as, I always call it the stable because, again, that's what you have. It's like horses, you have those players coming up. But they look at them and they say, okay, you know what? Everybody's going to try to play for this position. There really isn't a lead. Same thing that I think Coach Taggart is looking to do with Oregon as well, the quarterback situation there. But I think, again, this quarterback coach is doing that. These positions coaches are looking at that because it's open season. You're trying to get gear for the spring game. You're going to see what you have to work with. Mm-hmm. So this could be a potential, like you've seen before, a Justin Herbert, maybe somebody like that of that stature, and comes in and maybe he's able to show something he's got.
Yeah, so we've got another wide receiver I want to mention real quick. This is Aaron Short. This kid is coming from Sierra College, again, a California kid. Mm-hmm. So again, that California pipeline coming north to both Oregon and Oregon State, that's been a traditional thing. Of course, coming from California, you've got a lot of kids in California. So
yes.
If you're not going to play for USC or UCLA, Cal, some of these other colleges, being in the home state there, then coming north, where you're going to get playing time most likely, is a good idea. So Aaron Short, he's 6'1", 200 pounds. He's a 3-star rated athlete, mm-hmm. Coming out of, again, Sierra College. So this guy, again, another wide receiver, he's about 200 pounds, so he's got good weight on him. This should be another kid that's going to make an impact at some point. Again, I don't know if he'll be able to crack that starting spot there. We should be able to come in and maybe participate in some of the special teams areas, and possibly coming off the bench as a wide receiver.
When you have a coach that's in home visits or that is recruiting a player, a lot of times they say, wait, we have playing time for you. When? Mm-hmm. Depends on you. It depends on you as, as the person that's coming into the program. Your attitude. Are you really willing to work? Are you taking the measurements as far as, you know, getting in the weight room, taking all of these things that these coaches are throwing at you? How are you handling this? That in itself is a test to see if you can get time on that field.
Well, yeah, and you got to remember, I mean, these are 18-year-old kids. I mean, you know, you're just out of the house for the first time, basically.
Exactly.
So, you know, what's your maturity level? Being 18 years old, college campus on your own for the first time. You know, there's a lot that play into that. Whether or not you can handle that, like you said, the big lights. Of the Pac-12, the television cameras on you.
You've heard that sometimes even when the first time they get into that game, their heart is racing.
Oh,
that first hit is a wake-up call to Pac-12 football.
Welcome to the Pac-12, exactly. So, yeah, excellent. You know, some of the wide receivers that you see that they've that they've been able to
7 commits wide receivers. And then what I find interesting though is and we touched on a little bit at the last segment, but what Gary Anderson's been able to do at trying to pull players from, say, Texas, Georgia, Florida. And I think that's interesting because as these players come into your program, we saw this with Oregon. When they come to your program, the word gets out to some of these other players in that region that say, I didn't get an offer to Texas. I didn't get an offer to Texas Tech, or I didn't get an offer to Michigan. They're looking outside to see what other programs are there and the ability of playing time. Because remember, in some of these bigger school programs, sometimes they're not able to get on the field or get that playing time or get those reps that they probably would get at, say, at Oregon State.
Well, let's not forget the Pac-12, one of the major conferences, big television deal. You're going to be on TV. You're going to be playing, even if you're playing for Oregon State, you know, it might not be the glamour of playing for USC necessarily, or even the Ducks, but you're going to be in the Pac-12. You're going to be on television. You're going to be able to, you know, be under the lights, and so yeah, you're not in SEC country. You're not playing against or for Texas or for Florida even, or Florida State, or some of these other, you know, ACC teams and some of these others, but being in the Pac-12 under the lights, you got the cameras on you. What difference does it make necessarily?
Right.
You're far away from home. That's probably the only thing that you're probably giving up. Yeah, you didn't get that offer from Texas. You don't get to play for your home team, the one that you probably grew up watching and want to play for.
Right.
So now guess what you do? You say, you know what? I'm going to go all the way to the West Coast.
I'm going to check out a program like Oregon State.
Yeah, and I'm going to play against USC. I'm going to play against USC. I'm going to play against UCLA. I'm going to play against the Ducks.
About that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about recruiting and more about Oregon State in future segments. This has just been kind of a small starting point for recruiting. I mean, there's a lot to talk about with Oregon State, with the Ducks, with the Pac-12 overall.
Really looking at these teams, we're gonna take a look at and break them down from a standpoint of what they were able to do last year to what the promise is this year, looking at their schedule, but then also too the kids that they're bringing in, these recruits. Talking about overall the Pac-12, looking at these teams to see how they measure up.
Yeah, what kind of kids are they? I mean, you got good quality kids that are good character kids, you know, that you know make good decisions in their lives, and you know part of it is making that decision. This first major decision of their life is who am I going to play college ball for?
4 years, right?
And so great opportunity, and you know some of these kids are coming from lives, and you know they're coming from backgrounds and all over the country, different areas, different types, all coming into one town, little town, Corvallis, in Oregon, away from the big city, but still under the lights, still under the excitement of playing for the Pac-12. And so we'll bring you some more recruiting, as much as you guys can take. And we're going to talk about the other teams in the conference as well. So
we're excited with Oregon State.
Yeah,
we're really excited.
We're excited. Again, we do predict here on the FATT Show that the Oregon State Beavers will be in a bowl game this next year. And hopefully these recruits can help them get there. In the meantime, this has been the FATT Show. It's football all the time. I'm D.
I'm Kevin. Pleasure to be with you today.
And we will see you next time.
See you.
Yeah, so hey, we wanted to give a shout out to the Fat Show Nation. You know, you guys have been with us from the beginning, followed us, you believed in us.
Yes.
And you know, we're nothing without you guys. And we just want to say, you know, from our hearts, you know, thank you for supporting us.
Thank you.
For being there, for retweeting things and liking some, you know, our videos and going on and you know, going to YouTube and actually subscribing to the videos.
We appreciate that.
You know, we really appreciate Fat Show Nation, and we hope that you see that in what we do. And so this is just a thank you to you guys for just being there. You know, we do have some things planned for the Fat Show Nation.
Big things.
Coming up, and you know, we've got things that we're working on in the works. You know, different ideas that we have, and we're really excited about these things, and we just want to bring you guys with us. You guys, again, you guys have been with us the whole time, you know, and of course, you know, we're still pretty young at this. We're at 230 some odd followers on Twitter, and you know, I don't
34 subscribers on YouTube so far.
Yeah, so
seriously.
So we'd like to have whoever's, you know, out there that would be so kind as to go on to the YouTube channel there and subscribe for us, and kind of build that up for us. That would be a huge thing for us. So we really appreciate all the support. You know, listening to us. You know, retweeting and just kind of being along for the ride.
The thing I like to add to this is that one thing you'll get with us, as you guys are viewers and you guys have been on this journey with us from the infancies of basically starting in a basement, right? And you look at is that you've been on this journey with us, is that there's good content coming, and we want to be able to have you share that with us. We are very appreciative for all that you support and that you do, because one thing is about us is that we're going to be real. That's one thing, is we will be real with you. This is content that to us means a lot, and it's not really anywhere else.
And we're hoping that it means a lot to you. You know, we'll take ideas. If you guys have things out there
Please.
that you want us to talk about, maybe we're not focused enough on the Huskies and you'd like us to talk about the Huskies.
We want that interaction.
We want you to talk to us, you know,
Right.
Tweet at us, say, hey, you know, give some love to, you know, my cousin who's trying out for the, you know, Washington State Cougars. I don't know what's out there unless you tell us. We don't know, you know, what you want. And so we're trying to give what we think that, you know, the followers and the people who watch us want.
Yes.
But we might not have everything as far as what your ideas are. So, you know, give us your ideas, what your thoughts are. We have big things coming up for you guys. Trust me on that.
Yes.
You know, some logo stuff, all kinds of things that we have in the works for you guys. So, you know, stick with us.
Amazing journey.
You know, interact with us on Twitter. If you don't like something, you know, we're okay. We're big boys. We can handle it.
Yes.
You know, so you know, retweet, tweet. DM us however you want to do it.
Let us know your thoughts, what you're thinking.
Go on to the videos on YouTube. Make notations at the bottom of that. You know, just give your feedback. We just want to hear from Fat Show Nation, because, you know, again, you guys have been there through thick and thin with us, and we just really appreciate that. And again, you have to know that we're going to give you everything that we got here. So
Yes.
Give us something. Let's have this be a two-way street here. We love the Fat Show Nation. Keep it real. We're going to keep it real, and we'll see you next time.
Next time.